Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and to my wardrobe. I am Alice and in today's video I want to share with you my must-have items for a heat wave that will work very well both in and outside the office. Now the reason behind this video is that I noticed that a lot of people around me keeps complaining about how difficult it is to dress for a heat wave and to stay fresh and cool and at the same time look put together, especially when you are working in a more formal environment where you need to look a little bit more put together. That said though, I am Italian and I've been enduring like 30 plus years of Italian summer, so I have a lot of experience on how to look good and stay cool in the summer. So I thought, why not sharing it? So for me, there are a few key pieces that normally makes my life so much easier in summer. It's guaranteed that I'm going to look good and definitely they are making me feel a lot better. So these are my summer must-have, and without further rambling, let's get into it. My number one item would be an oversized short. Something like this could honestly be used in a multitude of situations. You can wear it, for example, with some very dressy pants with heels, and you can make a very nice evening outfit. You can wear it with like tailored pants and you can make it an office outfit. You can wear it with short and it immediately become casual. You can even, I actually do it all the time, I do wear them as like my cover up for bikini or for the beach without the need of like buying anything specific. So something like this is, I think, one of the most versatile things you can have in your wardrobe for summer. And because it's an oversized style, it makes you look a lot cooler and fresh. Because it has longer sleeves, it kind of is more appropriate for any kind of situation. Believe me when I say that, because the fact that it has long sleeve is not going to make any difference in how cool you're going to feel. As long as it's oversized, as long as it's in a natural material, you're going to look and feel very fresh. But it's something that is going to be immediately more appropriate for the office, for example, as compared to, I don't know, a cami. In terms of material, honestly, cotton or linen would do the same, but I would prefer linen just because it's a lot more forgiving when it comes to wrinkle. So yeah, that's just my preference. In terms of colors, honestly, you could do whatever you want here. Like, you could go super classic, either like a solid neutral color, or you can go with like a very classic print. But you can also go a little bit more flamboyant, something like this, for example. It has massive puffy sleeves, it has an interesting pattern, it works anyway, it's beautiful. So you don't need to stick to, you know, the classic white button down. You can do whatever you want here. In terms of bottoms, I have two options here, depending whether you are a pants girly or a skirt girly or both. For the skirt option, I would recommend a flowy skirt in a natural material. And in terms of length, I would definitely recommend to go either midi or maxi. And that's just because, as much as I absolutely love my mini skirt and I use it a lot, this is not as versatile because there are a lot of more formal environments and situations in which something like this would just not be appropriate. So if we're thinking capsule wardrobe and we want items that are super versatile, then midi or maxi length would be perfect. Now mine is in silk. I would actually not recommend to have a silk one. I absolutely love mine, but I also don't use skirts all the time. But if you're someone who wears skirts all the time, I would definitely go for an item that is a little bit more forgiving in terms of wrinkle, a little bit less delicate. And also, I'm not a huge fan of silk when it comes to really heat waves because it tends to cling a lot on my skin and it's not something that I find pleasant when there is a heat wave going on. So I would definitely go for something like cotton instead. And as for the pants option, I would recommend a wide leg linen or cotton pants. And this is again something that is going to be super versatile and to be very helpful in a multitude of different situations. Depending on whether you want it to be more on the casual side, like mine are a little bit more looser, they're not super high waist and it's perfect for what I wanted. But if you really work in a corporate environment, for example, then I would I would advise something that is a little bit more higher waist and a little bit more structured, so it does give that kind of corporate look. My next item on the list would be a long flowy dress. In all honesty, this is probably my number one necessity in summer. The only reason why this is not higher on my list is that, one, I know that not everyone loves wearing dresses, and this is perfectly fine. And second, if you are kind of building your wardrobe from scratch or refining it, it's always smarter to start with separates, because that's something that you can very easily mix and match with a lot of other things, as compared to a dress that is a lot more difficult to mix and match. So this is the only reason, but otherwise, when I am in a heat wave, 9 times out of 10 I would wear a dress, because it's just so simple. It's something that keeps you super fresh, but at the same time is an outfit in and of itself. You're going to look super good, and you don't have to overthink it. You don't have to over accessorize it. If it's very hot, as you can see, I do not put a lot of accessories on. I don't like it. So something like this is just perfect. And then again, it's super versatile. You can wear it to a wedding if you have like a clutch and a nice pair of heels. You can wear it to work. You can wear it. I literally wore this on the beach with just sandals. So it's again something that it's really, really versatile. Now, this of all my dresses is my absolute favorite dress, because it has everything that it needs to have, including pockets. But as always, I would go for like a midi or maxi length for the exact same reason that I was mentioning for the skirt. I would also go for something that has a little bit of a sleeve, because it's not going to make you that big of a difference when it comes to actually keeping yourself cool. And in a lot of settings, something like this is going to be a lot more appropriate than having like a spaghetti strap or a sleeveless kind of dress. So again, versatility, we are maximizing it. When it comes to shoes, in all honesty, I don't have a lot of recommendation, because there are a lot of different shoes for summer that are very comfy and look very good. So honestly, depending on your style, could be anything from a sneakers to a sandal. That said, if we're thinking capsule wardrobe, and if you are someone who works in an office, especially in a corporate office, my biggest recommendation would be a pair of loafers. Something like this, for example, is still a flat style. It has normally more support than a ballet flat, so it's a lot more comfortable. But at the same time is that tad bit more elegant compared to a sneakers or even a deck shoes, that makes it a lot more appropriate and more versatile if you work in an office. So that's why I would go for something like this. The biggest problem of a pair of loafers is that they are not going to work super well if you have like a very fancy event. So in that case, for example, I would rather pair like a good pair of loafers and maybe a pair of heels, and there you're good to go. But yeah, shoes, it's a little bit more difficult, because you have a lot of shoes. Like if you're someone that doesn't mind going to the office with sneakers, for example, by all means go ahead. As long as your sneakers are clean, it's absolutely fine. I think that now even in corporate environment they are accepting sneakers, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. If you love ballet flats, by all means go for ballet flats. The only thing I would say is that either you find something that has a good arch support, which to be honest is very difficult with ballet flats, or just buy one of those like proper insoles that you can put inside, because otherwise if you work in ballet flats all day long every day, yeah, your feet are going to hurt. So yeah, but otherwise I don't really have any super smart recommendation. Similarly, in terms of accessories, I don't really want to bore you by saying you need sunglasses, you need a hat. First of all, because I don't think that you actually need them, and secondly, because this is absolutely boring and obvious. One thing that I would say could be helpful though is to, especially if you're someone that has long hair and is used to always wear them down, summer you tend to want to have them up because it's just fresher. So one thing I would consider is just try to look into nice hairstyles that you like, so that if you have to pull them up, it's not like, you know, I have to. You kind of get excited and you really like your hairstyle even if they're up. That could be very useful for you. And similarly, to have some like nice hair accessories that you can use to have like a nice hair up to, like for example, I do have a nice scrunchie with a bow, and that's just so nice and perfect, especially because in summer I do wear a lot of monochromatic outfits, so that's just a perfect pop of color. Or I have, like, I don't really know how to pronounce it, but like a beret, I don't know, I will put a picture that I use that's more on the elegant side. So it's what I tend to use, for example, if I go to a wedding and I know that I don't want my hair down, then I would use something like this. What I did not mention, and it might sound weird, so I want to address it, is shorts. Now, the only reason why I didn't mention shorts is that the whole point of this video was to find items that were versatile enough to be used even in a more corporate, in a more formal kind of environment, and short ain't it, because as the name said, they tend to be short. So a lot of time in a lot of formal environment you still have the rule that anything above the knee is just not appropriate. That said though, if you do have, I would say, a more relaxed work environment, or you work from home, or what have you, then of course there's no point. Then definitely short is a very good idea to have for summer. But if you want to have still that more of a formal look to think, or you want to stretch it and be able to use it in a more relaxed environment, like I would be able to wear shorts at work, for example, because mine is not really a corporate office. So the two things you need to kind of take care of is number one, that they are a little bit longer, so something more like a Bermuda than something like this one. These are actually very short, and in fact I don't wear them in the office. And secondly, to go for something that is more structured, because something that is more structured looks immediately more formal. And so if you want to go for still that kind of officey look, then that makes a lot more sense. Personally, I made peace with the fact that I prefer to have shorter shorts and just don't wear them in the office. What I do though, to kind of still achieve that more elegant look that I like, I should premise, I don't care what you wear. If you like hot pants, I don't mind really. It's more for me, I prefer to have like that more classic kind of look. So what I do is exactly this. This shorts, as you can see from like really the same is here. So it's this long. What I do is to go for very high-waisted shorts, because in this way it kind of tricks the eye in thinking that there is more coverage than it actually is, just because it's high. So there is a lot of fabric, but it's kind of on the up and not on the down. And this is something that I really like. It's literally all the shorts that I wear have this kind of style, and I really love it, and I don't mind that they are more on the shorter side. But as I said, I also tend not to wear them at work. And that was it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider to subscribe. I do all videos about how to build a long-lasting curated wardrobe, and if you're interested in that, please consider subscribe. I would love to have you back, and until the next time, bye.